Hey guys, today we'll be covering a 2001 romance film called Love on a Diet. The opening scene begins with a man who is playing piano in front of a large audience in Japan. One of the many in the audience, a plump girl named Minnie, acts strangely after hearing the pianist play and soon leaves the room. After the performance, as Minnie is heading out, she unexpectedly runs into the pianist on the stairs. Surprisingly, the man recognizes her because she attends all of his shows. Assuming that she is a diehard fan, he gives her a CD and an autographed poster as a gift. Later at her rented home, Minnie, who is inebriated, starts kissing the pianist's poster. Soon she starts crying, and here we learn that she is depressed and on the verge of taking her own life. Fortunately, she is unsuccessful in her endeavor because the chair she uses collapses under her weight. The following day, the owner of the home introduces Minnie to various guys in hopes that one will marry her and pay her rent. However, because of her chubby figure, none of them find Minnie attractive. Later, the homeowner introduces Minnie to a man named Fatso, who enjoys eating just like Minnie. Fortunately, the big man finds her adorable and decides to take her with him, but only if the owner agrees to purchase a pair of his knives. The owner buys the knife, and the fat man gives the equivalent of Minnie's rent back to the owner. The man then takes Minnie in his car, and as they drive away, he tells her that he helped her because they both hail from Hong Kong. She is then driven to a train station by Fatso, who also offers her some cash so she can board a train to travel anywhere she wants. However, Minnie, who is depressed, fears that she will do something stupid if she is alone, so she refuses to step out of his car. After a lot of trying, Fatso gives up and chooses to spend the night in a rental home, but Minnie follows him there as well. She enters his room, prepares her bed, and simply dozes off. At midnight when she is sleeping, Fatso decides to leave, so he gathers all his belongings and rushes to his car. However, on reaching the car, he realizes that Minnie has his car key. He runs back to retrieve it, but soon discovers that the key is in her mouth. Fearing that Minnie will wake up, Fatso decides to leave the keys and break into his own car. After a bit of trying, he successfully starts the car and prepares to leave. Unfortunately, his excitement is turned into disappointment when he almost collides with the police officer. The officer accuses him of stealing the car after noticing that the car has been hotwired. At the same time, Minnie shows up with the car keys and takes charge of the issue. Following this, they both return back to the rental home, where Fatso appears to be furious because Minnie has made his life a mess. He also criticizes her for using all her money to attend the concerts of Kurokawa, the well-known pianist from the start of the movie. Hearing this, Minnie starts crying and reveals that Kurokawa is her ex-boyfriend and that the two were together in the past, when she was in better shape. This makes Fatso laugh, as he believes it is impossible for an average girl like her to be with a popular guy like Kurokawa. But then, Minnie shows him a picture of herself and Kurokawa together and reveals that she once had a happy relationship with him. They split up when Kurokawa earned a scholarship to study abroad. After that, Minnie began to feel lonely, and her hormone imbalance made her eat excessively, which caused her to put on a lot of weight. After a few years, Kurokawa rose to fame as a musician, and Minnie was unable to approach him due to her appearance. The story finally convinces Fatso that Minnie is speaking the truth, and he feels sad for her. The following morning when Fatso awakens, he is thrilled to see a lot of food on the dining table. After eating the dishes voraciously, he peeks out the window and finds Minnie cleaning his vehicle. Minnie greets him and asks that he save some food for her as well. Later, he searches for the knives that he was meant to sell that day, but doesn't find them. Seeing him struggle, Minnie reveals that she sold the knives to someone. This enrages Fatso as he assumes that she sold it for a very low price. But to his astonishment, he finds out that Minnie made a huge profit off the knives. Because of this, he decides to keep her, and the two start selling knives together. In the next scene, Minnie and Fatso go to a restaurant for dinner. Minnie decides to start her diet by consuming relatively little food, as opposed to eating a lot. Seeing this, Fatso taunts her by trying a range of delectable foods, tempting her. As a result, they place a large order and begin to enjoy it. Later that evening, they both sit on a bridge and sip their bottle of wine. Minnie, who is drunk out of her mind, yells aloud and declares that she will now forget about both Kurokawa as well as her past. The next day, as Minnie and Fatso are leaving the grocery store, Minnie notices a couple reading Kurokawa's magazine. She grabs the magazine and reads about Kurokawa's impending wedding to a girl named Kudo. Despite promising to forget him, she becomes angry and starts driving the car aggressively. Scared, Fatso tries to calm Minnie down, but the latter is in no mood to listen. He then turns on the radio in an attempt to console her, but unfortunately, they hear Kurokawa being interviewed about his upcoming marriage. Surprisingly, Kurokawa mentions that the love of his life is not Kudo, but a girl named Minnie, who was with him 10 years ago. This infuriates Kudo, and she leaves, disappointed. After that, Kurokawa announces on live radio that if Minnie can hear him, she should visit him in Tokyo Tower after a week. Back inside the car, an astonished Fatso urges Minnie to meet Kurokawa, but she instantly refuses, claiming that she is ashamed to show herself to him. She becomes irate once more and decides to take her own life by crashing the car into the water. Fortunately, Fatso is able to stop her by promising to assist her with her diet. The next day, Minnie and Fatso visit a gym to work out, but the trainer informs them that she cannot lose her weight in such a short period of time. Fatso then asks her to go back, but Minnie declines. As a result, Fatso drives away, leaving her in the street. But a few moments later, he starts to miss her, which makes him turn around and go back. When he gets back, he discovers Minnie exercising by climbing up and down the stairs. Following this, Fatso drives her to a restaurant where several of his pals work. He asks them for advice to lose weight, and all of them help her with several unknown methods. Desperate, Minnie tries the methods, but ends up in the hospital. With no options left, Fatso himself decides to become her coach, so that she can lose weight quickly. On the following day, Minnie starts her training. In order to ensure that Minnie only has a balanced diet, Fatso locks the refrigerator. After some time has passed, Minnie weighs herself and discovers that she has lost 60 pounds, which makes both of them happy. The training goes on, but one day, Minnie gets a serious craving for junk food, and as a result, she breaches the refrigerator's lock. Fatso notices this and attempts to stop her, but she runs out to get some junk food. After some time trying, Fatso loses his temper and reprimands Minnie. He then pledges to support her by joining her on a diet. The following day, Minnie and Fatso start training together. At night when they are both asleep, they unintentionally snuggle, and Fatso even kisses her. They awaken abruptly, and Minnie breaks down in tears because she believes that she's betraying Kurokawa. Fatso tries to calm her down, but as they lock eyes, they again get carried away and nearly kiss. Fatso appears to be attracted to her, but he decides to hide his feelings. Instead, he plans to send her to the gym so she may lose weight more quickly. The following day, Fatso pays for Minnie's membership at the gym and admits her there permanently. After that, he considers different ways to make money to pay for her needs. He then comes up with an idea and performs street work as a punching bag man. On the other hand, Minnie is going through her weight loss training. She time and again calls Fatso and invites him to visit her. However, he avoids meeting her because as a punch bag man, he is constantly hurt and wounded, and he doesn't want Minnie to see him in that condition. A few months later, Minnie successfully loses weight and regains her former beauty. Excited, she rushes to Fatso's house to surprise him, but the latter is not home. She then approaches one of Fatso's friends, who informs her that Fatso has been working as a punch bag man in the train station to help pay her fees. However, his friend does not recognize her. Shocked, Minnie proceeds to the train station where Fatso is getting punched in front of a large crowd. When he notices her, he recognizes her right away and is overjoyed to see her success. Following this, they return home, and Fatso rewards her with a lovely dress. The next night, Fatso takes her to the Tokyo Tower to meet Kurokawa as part of their ultimate plan. However, Minnie does not appear to be excited. Before stepping out of the car, she asks how she can find him again, but Fatso dismisses her, saying that he will find her. Minnie then asks Fatso's real name, to which he replies that people like him are always called Fatso. Saying this much, he drives away. Minnie is saddened to see him leave, but she thanks him from the bottom of her heart. When she arrives at the tower, several news reporters gather and begin photographing her. A few moments later, Kurokawa approaches her and tightly embraces her, asking her to not leave him again. The next day, Minnie and Kurokawa are interviewed together, which breaks Kudo's heart. After the interview, Mimi coincidentally notices a video of Fatso being beaten up by random people. This makes her break down in tears, and soon she apologizes to Kurokawa, mentioning that they cannot be together, as she loves someone else. Cut to a few years later, Minnie has become a famous novelist, but she is still unable to locate Fatso. Elsewhere, Kurokawa has become a fat guy as a result of the stress and hormonal imbalance caused by the breakup. One day, as he is eating at a restaurant, he notices Kudo beside his table, who has also gained weight. The two then reconcile and decide to spend their lives together. In the next scene, Minnie is driving back from an interview when she notices the exact yellow car that Fatso owned. She then follows the car to the Tokyo Tower, where she discovers Fatso, who has now transformed into a slim and handsome man. Both of them are overjoyed to see each other after such a long time. Following this, they intertwine their pinkies and promise to never leave each other's side. Finally, the two of them kiss, bringing the film to a happy ending.